Apple Intelligence is already a mess. So Apple is going to be pulling one of the big features with Apple Intelligence of summarized notifications from your iPhone when you update to iOS 18.3. And this feature is for summarized notifications for news and entertainment apps. This is because Apple Intelligence is just wrongfully summarizing content, and it's starting to show that the whole premise behind Apple Intelligence of A, being rushed, and B, where is the usability coming in, that it actually is going to help users and not just make lives a lot worse. Which right now is where it seems to be in the make lives a lot worse, as many people either don't know how to use it, don't know what it is, or don't want it. Okay? By default now with iOS 18.3, if you do not have Apple Intelligence turned on, Apple is going to automatically turn it on out of the box. So basically, you're going to update your iPhone, and it's just going to be on by default. And this is something that I personally don't think should be turned on until Apple Intelligence is out of beta. Right now, we are missing summarized notifications for entertainment and news due to the fact that Apple had to basically disable this while they work on a way to fix it, that it doesn't completely misinterpret your notifications. I know I've had it myself where it gets confused on who the subject is. It'll just misconstrue the message entirely. It'll say like someone argued over a piece of paper, but the argument wasn't over a piece of paper, and it really makes the whole experience bad, and you essentially just want to turn it off. Personally, I have not turned it off, as I've found them like 90% useful, 10% not for myself, as when you get a lot of notifications, it is pretty nice to just have it summarized. And even my emails, just knowing that my emails when they come in are so long to just be summarized as this is what the email is or this is what the notification says, I really like that. But where Apple Intelligence is falling short is the way it does things. And we're seeing this from every way in the UI, whether it be the new Siri that isn't even rolled out yet. Besides just the new glow when you turn on your phone, that's it. iOS 18.3 isn't bringing anything new. If anything, it's nerfing a feature away from us. So this is something that Apple really needs to figure out. And it's also starting to show that Apple Intelligence was rushed from the gate. If you watch WWDC, Apple made it seem like Apple Intelligence was coming on day one. And while yes, it would be in beta, that's perfectly understandable for a new feature. We've seen this before from Apple where they'll release some new features and call them beta, like photographic styles is one that comes to mind. And there are just so many other features that I can think of right now that Apple will release in beta before they essentially release them publicly to everyone. But this is something that you missed the iOS 18 deadline. You broke it up in iOS 18, 18.2, 18.3, and 18.4 because we are getting the more contextual aware Siri with 18.4. But you're slowly bringing features you advertised as coming with the iPhone 16 series. And as someone who uses my camera control button a lot for photos, but I don't use it for visual lookup. So if I press and hold, it'll open visual lookup, and then I can ask ChatGPT or search something like Google Lens. But I just don't use this feature at all. Now, Apple showed that you would just be able to scan a poster with your visual lookup, just press and hold the button in, and it would be able to go ahead and add the data to your calendar. Well, that's now coming with iOS 18.3, as I've had my iPhone 16 Pro Max for about 5 months now, and you're still bringing features you promised this would launch with. This is where the segmentation to me is just starting to really show that maybe Apple wasn't ready for Apple Intelligence, which is perfectly fine, but now it's starting to fall apart in front of the user's eyes, and you're taking back features. And that's just kind of making it show that it's a mess. With this whole taking away notification summaries for entertainment and news apps, Apple has also completely redesigned them, and they now show up italicized. And this is something that I think is so perfect, and it just looks right, because it now makes it stand out that, hey, this might not be accurate. This is Apple Intelligence doing this. This isn't the app itself doing it. I do think eventually we will get to the point where Apple Intelligence and AI are smarter, and we're not getting these gimmick features, as they're called, so far. Because once we get that contextually aware Siri with iOS 18.4, I think that's when we're going to start to see some of the big changes. And look, I'm not going to turn off Apple Intelligence on my iPhone. No, it's going to stay on. I really love the new Siri design. I wish this was brought everywhere, like Apple Watch and even to the HomePod. I love Genmoji and being able to create my own emojis. But where features are starting to fall apart, like this notification summaries, it really has me wondering, what is the long term for Apple Intelligence? Because right now it's seeming to line up more and more like a flop. But let me know what your thoughts are on this with a comment down below. And while you're down there, if you want to hit like and subscribe, I'd appreciate that as well. And I want you to remember that today's a good day to make a great day, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.